This isn't the first time we've done something in an agricultural vein on this program, as you probably know, you longtime viewers. We've been to a vineyard, we've been to a farm that raises special plants for the top of tall buildings and other agricultural shows. And well, here I am out on the farm today at the Wil-Low-S Low Point Farm in Pilesville, Maryland, for a very special reason, and you're on location. Well, welcome to On Location. Ken Kiedrowski, of course, here, and I'm out on the farm in Pilesville, Maryland today. And why I'm out on the farm at Pilesville, Maryland? Well, it's because a couple months back, I was reading the Aegis newspaper, and if you're in Harford County, you know the Aegis newspaper, of course. Story about this family that had a farm that was way over 100 years, and it got an award, and I thought, hey, I want to do an award-winning show, finally. I can tell people, yeah, On Location's award-winning. So here we are, Adam and Jen Wilson, the owners of the Wil-Low-S at Low Point, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So, hey guys, how long have you owned the farm?
You
personally.
We have owned the farm for 2 years.
For 2 years.
2 years now.
But the farm itself has been in your family?
It's been in my family.
Right.
For over 100 years.
For over 100 years.
Yes.
So it's been here, it's been a part of, well, I'm going to say it, Harford County history for all that time. And I guess there was some point in your travels where you heard about the Maryland Department of Agriculture honoring farms that have been around for a long time. So how did that process go?
So I had heard about it when I was in school a long time ago, seems like. And at that point, I didn't know how long the farm had been in my family. I knew it was several generations, but I didn't know the exact date. And it was something in the back of my head for many years, kind of on the list of things that I wanted to do when eventually I owned the farm. So recently, I noticed that the governor and the Department of Ag had started doing the Century Farm program again, and they were listing the farms in like a yearly calendar that they put out. I'm like, that's right, I wanted to do that. So when we finally owned the farm, I did all the research and found out the history and applied for the award, just as a reminder to us that what we're doing here on the farm is pretty special.
And it is, and you know, it's that old story. People go to the farm, or rather go to the store, and they forget that there was a farm in there somewhere because the food is there, the bread's there, the meat's there, everything is there. The fresh corn, all the produce is there, and some people, especially in the big cities, forget that, yeah, there were people who were tilling the earth and that made all this possible. So you fill out all the applications, of course, and you did all that, and then what happened next? What did the Department of Agriculture say to you or do for you?
Well, I kind of expected just to have our farm on a list and maybe get a little certificate to hang on the wall. And then I got an invitation for us to come to the State House and meet the governor and have a little ceremony. And it was kind of a bigger deal than I realized at the time. So I took the family down and we took a little day to explore the history of Annapolis a little bit and see the State House, and in the end meet the governor and come home with, you know, a stash of awards.
So this happened when? Back in?
This was in January.
In January of 2020. Okay, so you got to shake his hand, say hello.
Yes, yeah.
And he got a chance to thank you for being good stewards of the soil in Harford County and all that good stuff. And
yes, and there was about 6 other farms that were being honored that day from across the state.
Yeah.
So some neat farms, a lot of history, and
I bet.
It's a neat program. I think there's a whole lot of farms in this county who would be eligible for the program and the award if they knew about it and applied.
Well, now the farmers who are watching, they can just you know, contact me or contact you directly and say, sign me up, here we go.
How'd I do it? Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
happy to tell them what I did and to, you know, help with
and
some
at
research.
some point during the show here, we're going to be showing people the plaque that you received, the nice signage that the governor gave you and all that good stuff. So, hey Adam, you're just standing there.
Yes.
You got to say something. So now that you've got the award and everything else, I see that you're doing a lot of work around the farm to, I guess you'd say, to get it back into better shape.
Yes.
What are some of the things you've done recently?
Well, we've got a farmhouse that we're trying to reestablish back from the almost the ground up, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of issues with it, but we've got a big barn on site that we're trying to seal up and, you know, get the structural integrity back into it. And, you know, kind of make it more presentable to the fellow people driving down the road.
Yeah. Well, like it's out of the line of sight for people who are watching right now, but I'm looking at this barn where I guess you just had a crew of Amish workers out recently
Yes.
doing the roofing and that, and looks like $1 million to me.
Yeah.
Looks
Well,
really good.
when we bought the place, every roof on every building leaked.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been our focus right now, is trying to repair the
Seal up.
neglect. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and kind of bring it back a little bit.
Yeah. So historically, what did the farm produce for most of the time? Did you have any idea what the farm was doing,
Well,
growing?
when my grandparents owned it,
Yeah.
it was mostly kind of a self-subsistence farm. You know, they grew their own food, their own meat. They did sell some beef cattle here and there. My grandmother, she sold butter and eggs to the Klein store down in Forest Hill.
the Klein store,
yeah,
sure,
to
sure.
the the original Klein store, and you know, they mostly kind of took care of themselves. Before that, when my great grandparents owned it, I'm not 100% sure of what was going on. I know my great grandfather at one point was in California, and I think he was kind of researching apples and growing apples. And we had an orchard at one point, and I think that was kind of his interest. But for the most part, it's not a dairy farm, it's not a beef farm, so it's kind of given us an opportunity to start from scratch and kind of take our own path, because it's not established as anything that we're walking into.
So that's what you're trying to do now. You're trying to, now that you're fixing up the houses, the house, the barn, etc. on the property. You're looking and you're trying to figure out how you want to, how you yourself want to use the land. I understand that already. A lot of your acreage is already rented out, leased out, or how does that work?
Yeah, so right now we're definitely in a big transition period.
Yeah.
We have rented the majority of the crop fields to our neighbors. We were doing hay for several years, but we decided we were at the point we didn't need the hay for our livestock, so we're renting that now too. And we're kind of, once we get everything established and you know, stop the leaking of everything and kind of back to a better state, we want to decide which way we want to go. A lot of that's going to depend on our children and their interests. We have
And
two
whether
young
they
kids.
want to be farmers.
Yeah, and where their interests lead. Adam is a welder by trade and does a lot of trailer and equipment repair, and I have a background in horticulture, so we'll probably, you know, try to use our skills and head in some direction that will set our kids up for a good future.
Sure. So if people aren't familiar with the Willows at Low Point Farm now, they'll probably hear more about you guys in the future. I mean,
Absolutely.
you're loaded for bear now. You've got the awards. You met the
Absolutely.
governor.
Right,
You know, Larry Hogan can come out here and man and sell vegetables for
Absolutely.
people out in front, and you know, you'll be
Absolutely.
famous, and you'll have another article in the Aegis again, and I'll read the article and I'll say, oh, I got to go back out there again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So listen, I want to thank you for letting me come out here. I like being a man outstanding in my field, or in
Always.
this case, your field. And so it's been a pleasure. And it's so great you got the award. It's great for your family. It's great for Harford County. It's really a salute to all the farmers in the area. And so it's really great. It couldn't happen to a nicer couple.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. And I'll be back in a minute, and we're going to give you the complete summary of what we've done here. Well, let's see, we've learned a little bit about Harford County farming today, about a farm that's been around for over 100 years and got a very nice award and commendation from the governor of the state of Maryland and from the Maryland Department of Agriculture. Very nice award, great family, nice story about the farm and what it has been and what it will be in the future. They won the Century Award, and as I said earlier, it's nice to have an award on this show. Yeah, now I have to see if the governor will give me an award for doing this show. Well, that'll be for another time in another program. Anyway, my name's Ken Kidrowski. I appreciate having viewers right here on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. especially when you're on location.